Hi, Richard Keene here one more time, and I'm a personal transformational coach. But the important thing is, if you're watching this video, is do you learn anything that's useful? Okay, I hope that will be the goal. Okay, so topic I'm looking at today is ego defense mechanisms and behaviors that we all tend to have versus our own, let's say, soul, authentic self, the heart within us, and that struggle. Okay, so a lot of us are struggling with authenticity because of our ego defense mechanisms, protecting ourselves, fear of vulnerability. It's that mechanism that gets in the way of being okay with your own inherent value. When you're in alignment with your own correct inherent value, and you're not consumed or participating in all these ego defense mechanisms, kind of like, hey, here I am. This is who I am. Yeah, I'm not 100% perfect, but I'm my own unique expression in the universe that has infinite value. And every single second I forget that causes me confusion, difficulties, struggles, because I've forgotten that, or I don't know that, or I've never learned that. If you're not taught how to shift from your mind into your heart, the comment or the term that's used, like, the prison of the intellect. So over focusing on your thinking creates stress, causes you to be confused. You're using the wrong part of your body to navigate through the world. If you're using your mind to navigate through the world, your mind was never meant to do that. That's why it's running so fast and thinking so fast, because you're asking a device to do something that it can't do. Okay, that's why it's overwhelmed. The mind is intended to be a device to be used in service to the heart, not to navigate through the world. If you're using it to navigate through the world, you'll become overwhelmed. Things won't work. Things will be can be very stressful because you're using a device that's not capable, not fully capable. That's why there's overwhelm and overload, stress, panic attacks. All of this is tied to using the wrong device to navigate through life. Okay, so like the journey you were always meant to take is from your mind down into your heart. Okay, down into your heart. And your heart is an energy center. And when we close off to the world with our ego defense mechanisms, we're closing down that energy center. We're fearful, we're afraid of being rejected internally. We may be rejecting ourselves frequently. I mean, that's I've had to work through my own pieces on this. And as you work through not rejecting who you are, accepting and validating your own humanity, okay? And not making, this is not a contest, and there's right and wrong, has absolutely nothing to do with this. Validating your value, okay, and I call this like validation training, okay, is when we're not taught how to validate our own internal value, life is confusing. But if we learn correctly how to validate our own internal value, and we get okay with that, and we don't get consumed with ego defense mechanisms, and we understand and comprehend and become a, let's say, a master student in why it is correct to validate our own value. And when we do that correctly, we're mastering knowing ourself, mastering operating in the world with a full-on open heart without ego defense mechanisms. Because when I'm not worried about whether you like me or not, I'm not burning up energy. A lot of energy is consumed with all those ego defense mechanisms. A huge quantity of energy is consumed in that, defending oneself. It's like, whatever. I'm not going to participate in defending, because that's an ego defense related behavior that doesn't understand your true, unique value for your humanity, for your existence. So the degree that you're in touch with the value of your existence dictates and controls how you're operating. And the more you are in touch with this and operating with an open heart that fully validates your value and does not get consumed with ego defense mechanisms, which is a huge waste of your energy. Massive waste of your energy and time and defending. I mean, it's like standing in. I went to, it was in a seminar, and the gentleman stated, standing in yourself versus standing up for yourself. And that's a huge difference. I don't have to defend myself. Your opinion of me is your opinion, which you're entitled to. But I'm not going to get consumed with that. In my mind, if I'm anxious and I'm not valuing who I am, then I get anxious and I start defending myself. That's because I'm anxious and I don't know who I am. Okay? When I know who I am, I don't get heavily involved with and consumed with defending your beliefs about me. Those are ego defense mechanisms. And again, that's operating in a smaller version of yourself, which causes a lot of thinking, overwhelm, and anxiety, because you're not in touch, or you're not resonating with the value of who you are. When you resonate with the value of who you are and you really master this, then the outside world is just noise. I'm not saying it's not important or relevant, or we want to participate with a full-on open heart that values ourself, that knows ego defense mechanisms are not productive. The reason I defend myself is I haven't fully validated my value. Okay? When I fully validate my value, there's no reason to get consumed in defending myself. I'm not going to waste my time, because it's a waste of effort. Your opinion of me is, you're entitled to whatever concept or opinion you have of me, and I'm not going to waste all my time and energy in trying to get consumed with manipulating your opinion of me. It's my resonating and getting comfortable with operating with a powerful heart that agrees with my value. If you have negative beliefs about yourself, your inner critic has these beliefs, okay? But are those beliefs actually true? I mean, the inner critic may have some point that maybe have a seed of accuracy, but it's being delivered to you in an extremely negative downward tone. So there's your inner critic versus your integrity. So your integrity states, yeah, I could get better, but it doesn't have negative energy attached to it. Okay, so it may have the same input or observation, but it doesn't have this huge, massive negative component to it. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, there's opportunity to get better here. Sure, I'm not Captain Mr. Perfect, not there, and I'm not really even interested in that. I just I do a authentic self-observation of myself, that I'm a unique expression here in the universe. Not perfect, but I'm not interested in being perfect. I'm interested in validating the value of my own humanity and operating from that standpoint. Things become calmer. You know, the mind calms down, and there's some less confusion. And that's an operating center. That's a way to operate with power, you know, within yourself, while the rest of the world may be going crazy. There's no reason to go crazy. The only reason we're going crazy is because we're not validating our own value. If you validate your own value, you know, maybe people will be doing whatever they're doing, but it's not. And this is not an egotistical thing. People start thinking, oh, you're being egotistical. No, that's the most ridiculous, incorrect thing. Okay, when you master self-love, this is not an ego thing. People get so confused and get, you know, oh, you're puffing yourself up, and it's like, no. Standing in your own value is not ego. And standing in your own value with your heart is an energy center that has way more power than your mind ever will have. And your mind, again, you can't navigate through this world. That's why you're stressed. You're using the wrong part of you to get through life. And that's the overwhelm, and that's the defending. And he said that, she said it. Well, that's what your mind does. But your heart knows none of that's true. Your heart knows that when you hear something that's correct, you know it, and you don't have to start thinking about it. Okay, you know, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. There's not a lot of thinking. You just hear it and you're like, yeah, that's correct. So hopefully this video, as you're listening to it, you go, yeah, this is correct. I need to learn the process of valuing who I am, and I'm not being offensive to anybody when I do that. I'm actually, if I'm not doing that, I'm being kind of offensive and abusive to myself. And that's, here again, that's where all the problems lie right now. If you look at what's happening in the world, if everybody would do this piece, seeing your own value and the rest is noise, you would get calm. You wouldn't get consumed with what somebody else is thinking. And I wouldn't start believing that the world's, you know, chaotic. The problem is that we're not valuing who we are and getting calm and centered in who we are. So hopefully this all made sense. Leave comments, subscribe. If you have questions, post the questions. I'll look to try to respond. And again, hopefully this is useful. Have a good day.